Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, folks gather in Louisville to remember the 5 people that were killed in a mass shooting 1 year ago today. Plus, lawyers for former President Donald Trump get another setback in an effort to delay a hush money trial.
Plus, we could see a few severe storms by tomorrow. Your forecast on the wave as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's been a wet and gloomy day here in the mountains, and tomorrow we could throw in some severe weather to the mix. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron has more on what to expect. Cameron.
Yeah, Steve, some good news. No severe weather issues as we go into this evening. So if you have plans, we are tracking some showers, but no severe weather up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. Go ahead and pack the umbrella for those evening plans as off and on showers are set to continue. Zooming into a few heavier downpours, pushing close to Johnson County for Paintsville, also into Elliott County and Lawrence County at this hour. A first alert for Louisa, a few heavier pockets of rain not too far away. We are mild on this Wednesday as well. Most of us in the upper 60s to lower 70s, up to 68 for Jackson, 66 in Pikeville, also London, and 71 over in Harlan County at this hour. As more gloomy weather continues as we go into your Wednesday evening, most of us are dry, but check out I-64 over at Moorhead, a little bit gloomy and soggy as showers continue over those northern counties at this hour. We are not done with the wet weather just yet. Notice as we zoom out, we are tracking a spin in the atmosphere. That's an area of low pressure, and that will be our next storm maker as we go into parts of your Thursday. We do have a level 2, slight risk of severe weather from Mount Vernon to Hazard to Pikeville and back to the north. A level 3 enhanced risk over northeast Kentucky, also pushing into Ohio and West Virginia for parts of your Thursday. So we do have a first alert weather day in place. The main timing looks to be from 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. and all modes of severe weather are on the table. Not everyone will see severe weather tomorrow, but a few strong storms are possible. More details on that chance coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Today marks 1 year since 5 people were killed in a shooting at a bank in Louisville. James Tutt, Juliana Farmer, Joshua Barrick, Tommy Elliott, and Dina Eckert died in the shooting that happened at Old National Bank. At Metro Hall today, Louisville's mayor and Governor Andy Beshear gave a powerful testimony about what it was like to live through that day and how it forever changed Louisville.
It shook this community and it shook our Commonwealth. That's the day we lost Josh, Juliana, Jim, Deanna, and Tommy. Fathers, mothers, grandparents, children, friends, each one a child of God. They were robbed of their chance to live the full life that they deserve.
Dr. Jason Smith from U of L Hospital and the CEO of Old National Bank also spoke during the memorial. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are hosting a state dinner in honor of the Japanese Prime Minister and his wife tonight. But before the festivities could begin, there was work to do strengthening a military alliance between the two countries, addressing concerns around the world. CBS's Skylar Henry has more on that from the White House.
President Biden and Japan's Prime Minister spent the day finalizing new military agreements to counter threats from North Korea and China.
And continue to enhance and ensure Indo-Pacific remains a free, open, and prosperous region of the world.
The two countries will expand cooperation with a new U.S. military structure in Japan that improves integration between the two forces. The countries will produce weapons together with a new military industrial council and a new pact that integrates the U.S., Japan, and Australia's anti-missile defense systems. President Biden said this should not provoke military aggression from China.
It's a defensive alliance, and the things we discussed today improve our cooperation and are purely about defense and readiness.
The two leaders discussed other global concerns, including the Israel-Hamas war.
As I told Prime Minister Netanyahu, our commitment to Israel's security against these threats from Iran and its proxies is ironclad.
Biden said Netanyahu has promised to allow more aid into Gaza and to try to limit civilian deaths.
We'll see what he does in terms of meeting the commitments he made to me.
Both leaders were asked about Russia's war in Ukraine. President Biden used his answer to try to put pressure on House Speaker Mike Johnson to take up a bill to supply Ukraine with more aid.
The war in Ukraine comes on by the House leader allowing a vote. There's overwhelming support for Ukraine among the majority of Democrats and Republicans. There should be a vote now.
The president also said he stands by his opposition to the sale of U.S. steel to Japanese-based Nippon Steel. Outside of war and politics, the prime minister announced Japan will be gifting 250 new cherry trees to celebrate America's upcoming 250th birthday. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden said those trees will be planted on the tidal basin in Washington, D.C. near the MLK Memorial. Lawyers for Donald Trump filed another emergency appeal to stop his hush money trial from starting Monday, and we have just learned minutes ago that that was denied. Trump's defense team wants to put that trial on hold so they can appeal a lower court's ruling on presidential immunity. In the filing, Trump's lawyers allege the court exceeded its authority in those rulings. They also questioned the judge's refusal to recuse himself from the trial. Former President Donald Trump is pressuring House Republicans to kill a bill that would reauthorize a surveillance law. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, is a controversial law that allows warrantless surveillance of foreigners, but also lets the FBI collect data from Americans. This week, the House is taking up a bill to reauthorize the law for 5 years with a series of reforms. Trump blasted the law on social media. Former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg has been sentenced to 5 months in jail. Weisselberg lied under oath about the size and value of Trump's triplex apartment in New York. Weisselberg was charged with perjury after admitting to the New York Attorney General that he knew Trump's apartment was not the size they claimed on financial statements, although he had testified otherwise in a deposition. In Arizona, a woman accused of trying to kill her husband by repeatedly poisoning his coffee has agreed to a plea deal. Melody Johnson was indicted by a grand jury last summer on multiple charges, including attempted murder. On Monday, she pleaded guilty to 2 charges of poisoning food or drink as part of a plea deal. In a criminal report, Johnson's husband, Roby Johnson, said he believed she was trying to kill him to collect death benefits.